I'm just saying it's kind of like how Icarus whinges every time we fight something that isn't undead. You know, like the raptors.
Oh yeah.
And so it was like
Sometimes
after
something that
last
wants to
time.
eat you just wants to eat you.
Hmm?
I said sometimes a thing that wants to eat you just wants to eat you and nothing else. There is no
Yeah.
taming it.
It's like I don't remember when you left on Friday, but we were just talking, like I said, about what do we do if they're doing some kind of weird culty stuff, you know,
Mm-hmm.
in the town. It's like, do we stay and fight and take out the people behind it, or do we just run, you know? And I was like, I'm probably gonna fight, you know. But the thing is, my point is that the one pacifist guy, he's like, well, you know what I mean? He's like the old superhero, you know, Batman kind of crap. It was like, oh, we'll just beat up the bad guy. It's like, you know, that doesn't work. You know, you kind of have to kill bad people. Period. You know.
Yeah, this
You
is.
could always join them or turn them.
And my only point is, some of the other people, not to be offensive, but I don't think they have the backbone to be like, maybe we should just kill them anyway. You know what I mean? Like they might side with him just because they don't want to cause real life-ish conflict. You know.
Well, I don't know any of them, so I will just kill everything. I know one of them just because he
Well, that's what
stops
I'm
in the
saying.
streams.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm saying I'm gonna need somebody to back me up because it's just like I'm not gonna run away from every fight just because the pacifist doesn't want to, you know, fight to kill.
It'll be fine. We got it. We got it. We'll fuck bitches. Fuck bitches. Take money.
Yeah. But like
Me and my
another great
amazing
example. This
portal.
isn't. Yeah. Even better example. We did a one shot where I think it takes place in our current campaign
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's Tomb of Annihilation that we were doing. That's just like a little mini tomb.
Talking
But
about another
it,
session, guys.
all I remember is I believe it was a demi-lich that had like the soul of a little girl, or was the soul of a little girl, or something like that.
Death creepy.
And everybody else is like, "Oh, look at that! Kill it on sight," you know. And he's just like, "No, we should talk to it," you know.
Why the fuck would you want to talk to a demi-lich?
Well, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, listen, even if that is some sort of cursed little girl soul, you're gonna have to take it out, you know.
Yeah, it's gonna die.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like there's a limit to how, you know, peaceful you can be. You know, even if you're hell, even if you're a, you know, super goody two shoes character, you know, you still have, you know, what do you call it? Righteous murder. I don't know. I don't know how you'd put it, but you get the idea.
Yeah. Hey Dan, do you have any update from Ken? Anything fun?
Nope.
Okay. Well, next time you guys talk to him, ask if I should just start looking for a new player or what's going on. Because
I don't know. That's Lewis's depart. Well, Lewis is not even going to work anymore, so there's no. There's
do
no
you
one
guys
left.
not play games with him or anything anymore?
I
Not really.
pretty much never play games with anybody anymore.
I don't know. I tried to get people to play Civ yesterday, and no one fucking messaged me back and kept talking about Rust. So
Well, I explained my situation.
you had no excuse. If we were playing Rust, you would have got on.
That is not true. I did not sleep last night or today yet.
God. Let me adjust the audio a little bit because you guys are a little low. Okay.
What?
Shut the fuck up.
That's what I was gonna do.
See, and here's the funny part. You only hurt people who are viewing the stream because I have you turned down manually through my headset.
Oh, you think I care about that? That don't bother me.
I don't think anyone's in yet.
Yeah, no one's in.
Atin is in. I don't know if that's a bot or a viewer, but Atin is in.
That's a bot.
I don't. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Now I know.
I think so. Anyway.
I don't know. You can fucking get a message. I'm not a fucking bot, and then stops viewing. It's like, huh, fuck.
They have 3,718 followers. I'm pretty sure it's a bot.
How would you know?
You sure it's not related to us then?
What are you talking about? We have no followers.
Didn't get that.
I didn't get what you said.
No, we have
He said it's a
31.
bot. I said you think it's related to us. Since we're
Shut
kind of
up.
like bots.
Oh my
Oh, I
god,
see.
shut up. I hate you
A
so much.
robot.
Alright, that's the stream. Have a good... Just kidding. God damn it. Okay. Well, I guess we can just get into this because I'm going to go with Tim's not coming. So,
I caught some of his Monopoly stream.
not Tim, Ken.
Well, you knew Tim wasn't going.
Yeah, I don't know why. I was looking at Tim's character and trying to say Ken, and Tim just came out because I was reading his name. So, but it's fine. Okay.
Oh, did you see the
Go ahead.
Humble COVID-19 bundle? Just like jam-packed with a ton of games.
I did not.
It's got a bunch of good ones in there.
Oh, yeah, no, I have not even taken a look at it. I've been playing Sea of Thieves and kind of enjoying my afternoons.
That is, well, are you taking off?
No, I'm not taking off, but I still get off at like
Oh.
6 o'clock.
Gotcha. How have the deliveries been without, have they been putting Cameron fill in?
So I don't know if they actually filled your shifts yet, but I have not worked a day that you were supposed to yet.
Gotcha.
So I have just lucked the
Well-
fuck out. But it's been fucking crazy anyways, just because everyone's buying
Right.
shit for fucking delivery. So
Well, that and like the lumber side of the store has been just like usually has about one associate per 3 departments.
yeah, especially right now. So
Right. What the heck is this?
what?
They've got me back on the schedule as a garden associate.
It's probably just to cover up the hours.
But
I don't-
he's not coming back though. Why would you fucking schedule somebody?
This is my last
How
week.
many times have you seen people quit and we still schedule them the next 3 weeks after?
Yeah, they did it with me too, so it's just something to do.
Alright, we'll just ignore it,
But
Dan.
that doesn't make it. My sick time, they paid it all out already.
That's good.
So,
You
like,
probably
I don't have to
should
call them
mention
until
it,
we kinda
but
thing.
yeah.
Be like, yo,
I
bitch, take
mean,
me off the schedule. Well, yeah,
that's
because
kinda up to them
fucking
at that point.
Crystal's doing the damn scheduling. Why the fuck did she do that?
I don't know.
Fucking Crystal.
Cover up.
I think it's funny it's all garden, but
Garden's probably short hours. They have to have them, and there's nobody to put over. them.
Actually, fucking Garden, nobody's been calling off on Garden. They've had like double, triple coverage this entire time. The rest of the store, it's
they
fucked.
then they
but
hired a ton of people.
Garden people are showing up.
Gardens had nothing to do.
Yeah, no, they're out of shit too.
I mean,
Okay,
they've had some days where it's been crazy, but
alright, anyways, enough with BSing. So, last time on Critical Miscue, whatever this channel's called. Anyway, so last session, or last few sessions anyways, the party was traveling south on the main road through the Aladani River Basin in an attempt to head to Jahaka Anchorage to try to find some good trade and possibly voyage around to the southern side to get closer to their destination and maybe try to take a peek at the Wormheart Mine. I don't know, someone mentioned that along the path. But they found a traveling trader, and after some interesting negotiations, some threats, all that fun stuff, an explosion happened. The trader and all of his pets died. As the party were looting / picking up the pieces, they were approached by a band of guards that seemed for some reason to be traveling north. Nobody entirely knows whether they were en route to go do something or if it was just a standard patrol. As about half the party was taken back southward towards the mine of Jahaka Anchorage. The other half fled north for a few hours and then wrapped around to attempt to trace the footsteps of their captured group mates. I'm not going to call them friends because they're not friends. But they were able to.
They're targets.
Targets, yeah, that's a good word, good term. But they were able to find a decent trail to follow, and they were able to luck out and get a good enough vision and idea of where their targets were being taken. And this party in particular ended their last session by setting up camp outside the Jahaka Anchorage mine in the nearby forest, just to try to stay out of sight. With that, you guys had a first night's rest. You come to consciousness early the next morning. Whenever you guys start to awake, even though you are robots in a sense, you still have a decent idea and visual perspective of what it looks like whenever it gets unnaturally cold. And this specific morning, it is extremely cold for this area. The average temps that you guys have been having throughout the entire campaign, really, even with your first characters, anywhere from high 80s to low 100s. Probably about 65 this morning. It's unnaturally cold. A fog is beginning to roll in. You can, looking about at the different animal life throughout the forest around your campsite, you can see many of them heading to their nests or burrows, hunkering down, and you get the feeling that a storm might be coming in. And this close to the coast, it could be a fun one. But, nevertheless, it is bright and early in the morning, and the day is yours. What do you wish to do?
Well,
I don't know. Where do you think we should go?
I mean, we still have a contract to fulfill, so obviously we're gonna at least make sure that they don't leave the encampment without us catching up with them.
K-Tog looks at both of you. Contract? What contract?
Oh, I forgot that you were gonna play him.
We could kill him.
We could.
He's a half. Let me pull up his stat sheet first off, because I don't know where this is going already. Oh, my campaigns. Tomb of Annie. Cake dog. Okay, he is a half orc. Okay. At the "we could kill him" statement, K-Tog just kind of slowly puts his hand on his sword, like steps back, just looking at both of you.
We were kidding.
But we don't kid.
Except for the fact that we're robots and we can't joke.
I have no sense of humor.
Yeah, I can tell. But on a serious note, what's the
What is the plan? How far are we from the encampment?
Probably about so with where you guys were able to find campsite at, you can see the entrance, so you can see whenever groups are leaving and coming, and you know which group to watch for, because it's going to be the only one with a fucking bear with them. But it's still a decent trip, and on foot, it's probably about a 30-45 minute walk.
Gotcha.
Well, that's not very far.
No, you're not far at all, but close enough to be able to see and keep tabs on the entry.
Is there only one way in and out?
Yes. For this entrance, you only see one way.
Okay. I guess we'll try to find somewhere that we can kind of perch and watch over the entrance.
Okay.
Since we're currently wanted there.
Okay. Make an investigation check, I guess. It's kind of hard to find a good place to perch where you have enough room for the party to just chill about. Most of the area around the entrance of the mine is like flatlands, not really even rolling hill level, and most of it's been cleared away, so the people in the watchtowers can have a good heads up whenever, in case something were to attack. So it's there's really no place to perch up, more or less, to try to see like beyond the wall that's blocking the mine.
Okay. Well, what do you guys think? Do we wait here or should we try to go in?
Well,
Perhaps disguise ourselves.
well, we have several options. I mean, we know this obviously isn't. I don't think this is the major city that they were talking about taking us to that has the port. There's no port here. The trader mentioned we could go to Jahaka Anchorage and try to catch a trip around to the south. I imagine that's probably what the party would be doing. If I remember.
What do you think, Bane?
I think if we head them off there, we could possibly get a jump on anything that happens before. Scout the area out a little.
Yeah, and maybe word hasn't traveled of what they were looking for all the way to the city yet. So maybe we won't have to hide.
It's worth a shot.
We did nothing wrong.
We did kind of flee guards telling us to stop.
Those
They
are
have no jurisdiction in the jungle.
Well, I can't argue with you there because I don't know who rules the lands here.
The jungles are unrolled. They're wild.
So westward then.
Great.
Roger.
Roger. Okay, so you guys begin to gather up your things from your campsite and begin to travel westward. Are you doing it stealthily, or are you just traveling casually?
We'll travel casually. I don't think we have anything to worry.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I'll let you two do this. Either both of you make a perception check, or one with advantage, just for the day's travel, keeping an eye out.
What's your perception, Lewis? is one higher than me, so just make it an advantage. Oh, well, there you go. You get anyway. I guess you can roll again though, so you can get higher.
I figured I can do it's fine. Yeah, 22.
Okay, 22. So, looking about as you guys travel, you get, following the road, you get, not incredibly close, but you get relatively close to, the entrance to the mining town. I'd say probably 400 or 500 yards away from it. And no one seems to be paying mind to you, whether it's too far away to recognize you. The description that you would expect them to give maybe wasn't as good as they could have been. They seem to kind of just ignore that you're there. Maybe, possibly didn't even notice you as you're passing by. But nevertheless, you pass by the mining town with no issue. Heading westward, using your map to try to find Jahaka Anchorage. Several hours go by, and you notice out of the corner of your eye to the north, there is a thin column of smoke coming out across, and it's coming out from behind a large patch of trees that have sprouted up. Kind of peeking through, you can see there's a clearing maybe about 20 to 30 feet past the trees. Can't really make out what's back there, but you can see a column of smoke. Do you want to turn off or just continue?
I say we continue.
Okay.
You sure you don't want to at least take a peek?
If you wish, we can.
We'll just take a look.
Okay. So as you guys approach through the woods, you get maybe about halfway through the wood line, and Bane, you hear someone shout. What languages do you speak?
Let me see.
I have common, deep speech, and primordial.
Common Infernal.
Common and Infernal. How did he get more languages than you? Didn't you guys build the same fucking character almost?
No, they're different.
Okay, so, Jinri, you actually do not hear this. You miss it. Bane, you hear it, but you don't understand it. It's a language you do not know. But you hear someone kind of hushedly, the best way you could hushedly shout to try to get someone's attention without notifying someone else. And then from the other side of the tree line, you can hear some rustling.
I think there's something over there.
An animal or a person?
I can't tell. I think it's a person. We should send K-Tog over.
Oh, yeah, I can go take a look. And he draws his sword just to be safe in the middle of the woods here.
Keep your sword lowered. You don't want to startle whatever you might see, but be at your guard.
Yeah, I can do that. Where's my fucking... Okay, there we go. Is that... Where was this that I'm looking at? Okay, that's annoying. Sorry, I was looking for something else. So K-Tog slowly advances forward, just trying to get a better idea of what you guys are walking into here. And what's his perception, plus 4. Ooh, 21. It's not bad. So with that, he walks probably about 15, 20 feet farther, just breaking the tree line there, and he very quickly stops and looks around. And what is he gonna do? You see, he doesn't like drop his sword, but he kind of like had it semi-ready, and he slowly lowers it and then kind of puts his left hand up. He hasn't said anything yet, but he looks worried. I wouldn't say frightened, but I'd say worried. He hasn't said anything.
Is everything alright, K-Tog?
You just come up here, and he kind of, with his left hand raised and the shield, you can kind of see his fingers over top of the shield, waving you up slowly.
Jinri, go check it out.
Yeah. Alright, fine.
And then as you begin to approach and break the tree line, now you can see much more clearly. This is a very large open field. Probably, I'd probably put it in the span of like 6 football fields. It's in like a 2x3. It's rounded off more or less, but it's decent size. You can see several different types of, well, you guys would know this, several different types of war carts. A lot of them seem to be abandoned. One of them in particular does have smoke rising from it, which you would take to be the plume that was noticed earlier. And you see a lot of different corpses and different bodies and creatures just lying about, scattered weaponry throughout the field. Looking off to your left, you can see where the tree line that you just exit starts to wrap around, and probably about 40 to 50 yards down the tree line, you can see, not hiding very well, but what looks to be 2, and for your knowledge, extremely small hill giants, kind of like doing their best to hide within the tree line, but they're not doing a great job because they are still hill giants. But typical hill giant that you know of, anywhere from 13 to 15 feet, maybe 16 foot in height, pretty tall. These two in particular are probably around 9 or 10. They're not, they don't really scare you that much for giants.
Like they're tiny giants.
They are tiny. They are extremely tiny.
Is K-Tog as tall as them?
I don't think K-Tog's that tall.
Is he like 7 foot?
I mean, they're still 10 foot. You know, I would know K-Tog's height if he finished his fucking character.
Oh, he didn't put it
He
in.
didn't put it in.
Oh well.
Say he's 12 feet tall.
We'll call him 12. Okay, that works for me.
Yeah.
Hey Bane, come check this out.
What is it?
Giants. Dwarf giants.
What is a dwarf giant?
Come take a look.
Fine. Oh, that's a dwarf giant. What do we do?
Well, they clearly just got done pillaging. What do you think? Should we approach them or should we sneak attack?
I think we send K-Tog up to approach him and we'll flank around.
So standing here, they're obviously looking at you. They've noticed all three of you.
Oh, I thought we were still in the bushes.
No, you're like maybe five to 7 feet outside of the tree line, to where you see this what looks to be a battlefield that has just recently seen carnage, and the hill giants are about, like I said, 30 to 40 yards down the tree line, attempting
They
to
seem
hide.
aggressive.
No, they're attempting to hide in the tree line, and they're kind of peeking out at you, which is how you can see them.
I'm gonna yell out, "We can see you. You might as well come out."
Um, so the moment you go to yell and begin talking, one of them does like go in farther into the woods. The other one, the one closer to the edge, just kind of stands there for a second and slowly walks out of the tree line. And he doesn't walk towards you, but he's in full view now. Instead of just being able to see kind of the edges of him, you can see he has a very tattered loincloth. He has
Does he look like he's been in battle?
not necessarily. I mean, he has a couple of scrapes, but from this distance, it's kind of hard to tell if they're new or old. He does have very straggly, gangly white hair. He has somewhat of a beard going, but it's not coming in. It's coming in real patchy like. And he carries in his left hand, you can see that he has what for you guys would be a long sword, and he's holding it one-handed.
Well, K-Talk, go say hello.
I don't speak giant.
Well, you're the closest one in height. You're only 2 foot taller than them. We're like 3 foot below, 4 foot.
K-Dog's not taller than them. I don't know where this comes from.
Lewis said he was 12 foot tall.
I don't know where Lewis got that.
Top of my head.
So K-Tog reluctantly walks off. Very approaching cautiously. Because I mean they don't look threatening, but it's still a giant. They're probably pretty strong. You see him slowly converse at a safe distance. He's not really yelling, but you can't really make out what he's saying. And he slowly begins to walk back, and the giant is following him at a distance. They had probably like maybe a 5-minute conversation. K-Tog arrives back. Well, I got good news, and I got bad news. The good news, he speaks common. The bad news, He doesn't speak common well.
All right. What is his purpose here? What is he? Has the giant walked up yet, or?
He's probably 15 feet behind K-Dog, so yeah, he's right there.
Okay. What is your purpose here, giant?
Oh. Ooh, oh. He makes a motion with his hands and like kind of starts to, like kind of, almost like shoveling something into his face. Food.
Whose carts were these? And I gesture to the burning carts.
You can see him kind of think for a second. They man, and he kind of points like back behind him. Man come city.
I see.
Other come, and then he points across the field to the north. Other come whole. He kind of makes a motion like into like towards the ground and makes a circular motion.
Wait, what's happening? He points to the north and points down in a circular motion.
Yeah, he said, "Man come from city," and that's when he was pointing behind him towards the direction you guys were originally traveling. And he said, "Other man come from hole," and he pointed to the north on the other side of the field you guys are standing in, and gestured like a circle in the ground.
Gotcha. So, where are we exactly on the map right now? Like in reference to the pink dot.
Probably one tick to the left of it, right. We're kind of right where those trees start.
Gotcha.
Yeah, kind of right in there.
So he's pointing towards that mine for the north, and then pointing towards.
No, here, let me get out the ruler. So he was pointing this way towards the west for whenever you guys when he told you about the village, and for the hole he pointed straight north. He didn't point back east. He pointed towards the mountains.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know what is going on.
Is there anything of value left laying around?
Make a perception check. Uh. 17. Looking about, I mean, there's definitely like some high quality weapons left. I mean, the army that is dead in front of you doesn't have the worst weapons. Doesn't really look like anyone's fully gone through and looted them yet. Looking about, you can see some bodies that have like limbs torn off or cut off. Probably get the sense that these giants were feasting on some dead people, but getting the sense that these giants had nothing to do with the fight. They just came in the aftermath.
Any gold on them, you think? Jinri?
Oh, perhaps, but with how mangled they are now, I'm not sure it's worth searching through.
We can send K-Tog to check.
Yeah, I can go take a look. I mean, how long are we gonna search for?
Why don't you? We'll talk to the giant here about a few other things and just search until we're finished speaking, I suppose.
Okay. Alright, K-Tog wanders off and starts looting different bodies to see what he can find.
So, giant, where do you hail from?
Oh. He kind of just looks at you, like, puzzled.
Where do your kin reside?
Uh, Home?
Yes, home. Where home?
Uh, we, he kind of, like, points to his foot and says hills. Hills of and he points south across and he makes a swimming motion. That's all he says.
So you live down the foothills across the water?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Do you live under the mountain?
Uh, and at this point in the conversation, you can see slowly kind of peeking out to see what's going on the other giant, and you can see him kind of watch your guys' conversation for a second, and then he begins to slowly walk out, very cautiously. This one, as he comes around the corner, is much more clean. Well, not clean, but like no signs of like scratches or sword wounds or anything like that. He is just wearing kind of a loincloth type thing. It's a much neater condition that a loincloth can be, and he is not carrying any weapon at all. And he slowly walks up. He's not getting anywhere close. He's probably a good 30-40 feet away. He's confident he can probably outrun you if he has to, but he is there now.
Okay. Tell me, good giant, who is your friend here? I gesture out to the one that's coming up.
He looks back. Oh, he pats himself on the chest. Ghoul and Boone. When he
Ghoul and Boone?
yeah, when he says Boone, he points back to the other giant.
Gotcha. I see. Is he a good friend of yours?
He kind of thinks for a second and help food, and he makes the eating gesture again.
I see. Can he speak?
He looks back towards Boone, and you hear them say some words back and forth in a different language. You assume it's a language. It's a lot of grunting. And Boone gets nowhere close, but he goes, yeah, speak.
Good. Now I'm curious, can you tell us anything of interest in the area around here? Perhaps a nearby cave.
Something of value.
You and Boone's piping up. He seems to be a little bit more knowledgeable than the original one you were talking to. The camp toward west. Some men there. Decent stuff. And kind of paying closer attention, he's also, while he's talking, kind of using a very not precise but rough form of sign language too.
Huh.
Seems like a pretty smart giant.
Are they friendly at the camp?
No.
Do they not like giants?
No, like anyone. Kill many people, travel from water to hole. And now he's pointing back towards the mine you came from.
Gotcha.
So they've been slaughtering people.
Well, I guess they've been going down into the mining and going back to the port and shipping it out and slaughtering anybody who tries to muscle in.
Oh,
Supposedly. Potentially.
no.
No.
Man port and man mine different.
Ah.
They friend. Men in camp not friend.
So the men in the mine might be helpful to us?
They friend with men in port. I don't know they friend with you.
I see. Shall we find out?
I don't see why not.
K-Tog, I think we're finished here. Calling out to.
Oh yeah, I'll be there. And he kind of gathers up some things that he's grabbed that seems to be of value, and comes back. I didn't find anything too great, but we could probably sell it somewhere. Make a little coin that way.
That worked. Looks like we're going to try to head to the mine. Talk to some of the miners there. They seem to be a bit friendlier than those of the port.
Alright. Mining town we just came from?
Was that the mining town we just came from?
That's where the giant just pointed. Yeah. He pointed behind you guys. Towards the west.
Oh, I thought you pointed into the mine. I guess.
No, so
Is
there's
the mining
there's
outside the
there.
mine?
No, the mining town is inside the mine. I don't know how much of the last session you were here for, because I know when we tried to cut over to you, you were gone. But
Yeah, I had gone upstairs at some point. I did
Yeah.
come back. I was there for most of it, but
the mine of Jahaka Anchorage, it has the walls up front, and built inside the mountain is an entire civilization almost. It's got a bazaar, several taverns. So it's like a city inside the mountain. That's where he pointed originally. There's 3 locations that he's pointing at. He said that the port and the mine are friends, and to the north side of this field there's a hole. That's everything that he's pointed at so far. or that these two people have pointed at.
Well, to the north side of the field, there's a hole.
Here, let me move the pink dot exactly where we are,
Yeah, that would be helpful.
because it's just off by a little bit, but that little bit's making a lot of issues. To the left, everything you own in a box. I'd actually put us more or less right there. There we go.
Okay, so up to the north of us is where the hole is, and then to the west is the port and mining town.
The mining town is to the east. The mining town is the spade and pickaxe.
Okay, so it's just the port to the west?
Just the port's to your west, the mining town's to your east, the hole is to the north.
But they said the people were friendly in the hole?
No, he said the people were friendly in the mining town. The port and the mining town are friendly, is what he said. And then
Who goes in? Who did they say goes in the hole?
he,
It's the
did,
mining
he didn't
town,
say
right?
anyone goes in the hole. He said one of the armies that had a battle here came from the hole.
I see. What do you guys think of going in the hole?
I'm down for whatever. Bane?
It is your call.
Let's see what's down this hole. Ghoul, Boone, care to join us?
We're not one fight. Maybe food?
We may find food down there.
Hmm. And the smarter one kind of nods his head toward the north to the other one, and they just start walking that direction.
Alrighty. To the hole we go.
Okay. So first off, we can mark this down somewhere. K-Tog found 3 short swords. Fairly decent condition, so I'd put decent condition short swords. I'd say 2 rough longbows, and he found probably about 35 gold, 126 silver, and probably 352 copper with his investigation that he did in the short period of time.
Hold on. You're gonna have to say it again because I didn't get it all written down in time.
I believe I said
3 decent short swords, 2 rough bows.
yes. I believe I
What
said
else?
36 gold.
How much silver?
We'll just say I'm gonna bump it up because I don't remember exactly what I said. I'm gonna go 156, and then 332 copper. That's what he found. That's for you guys to split however you want.
Okay. We'll divvy it up later. For now, let's head down the hole.
Okay.
And the giant said that they don't fight, but they want food, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of getting. They probably do fight, but they're probably not good at it.
Yeah.
Just kind of looking at them. They're not that strong. I mean, they're still giant strong, but for a giant on the weaker side. So, but now crossing the field itself, you can see several different types of armor. You can see one type that you recognize very well. The soldiers that tried to arrest you back at the river were wearing the same one. It's the what looks to be the militia that the Choltons support and regular policing force in the area. Then you see also some finer armor. Both of you would recognize this as regular armor from the Empire, the vast country that actually owns Cholt itself, the lords of it. And then you also see a much darker tinted armor that you do not recognize where it would come from. It doesn't seem to have shine to it like regular iron does. It seems real dull. Just walking by, you take your sword just to kind of ping it and see what it's like, and it seems extremely durable. But walking through the field, it's clear that the Empire and Cholt lost a lot more men on this field than this other army did. But a few minutes pass as you cross the opening, get to the other side, and those giants weren't lying. There's a big hole here, probably close to 20 feet in diameter. You can kind of peeking down it. You can see that for about. Do you guys have dark vision?
I mean, we have laser eyes, but no dark vision.
I think K-Tug should.
K-Tog does. I
K-Tog.
believe he does.
Wait. Oh, it's not under the. Hold on, it's under.
I think it's under features.
Okay,
It's
features.
under
I was looking
senses
at
if you can pull your sheet up.
proficiencies.
It's under
So-
features and then traits. Features and traits is where it's at. But K-Tog does have dark vision.
Well, I was just saying because if you look on your senses where your passes are, it should be there.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing it.
Oh yeah, there it is. That's where I was trying to look for that. I knew because I knew it was supposed to be on the left. So it's just
Okay.
K-Tog can see 60
Oh,
foot.
you guys have dark vision.
I don't.
Looking at it right now. Both of you do. You have blind sight and dark vision apparently.
What characters are you looking at?
I'm pulling up your actual features and traits to see if I can find it.
I don't see it under sense types.
Okay, maybe what I'm looking at is just like all the senses. But anyways, it doesn't matter. K-Talk has it. So walking up to the edge, you guys look down and it's just pure black after like 20, 25 feet. K-Talk kind of, you can see him squint. I mean, that looks like close to a 40-foot drop, and then you can see it starts to curve towards the mountain.
40-foot drop? How are we supposed to get down?
Does anybody got any rope?
I've got... about 50 foot, so...
That'd probably work. I mean, if we wanted more, I imagine we could probably go scrounge the carts up. I probably
I
have...
also have 50 feet. We're fine.
Oh, okay.
So we'll be fine.
Alright, well, Here, and he walks over and he starts putting the heavier rocks in that he can to try to create an anchor point to tie the rope off at. Here, let's loop the rope around here as an anchor and throw it over the side. That'll be easier to get down that way. Tie it off, drop the rope down the hole, and begin the descent into the hole in the side of the mountain. Let's see. I don't know what he has here. Let me check. No, okay, he does. So whenever you guys get to the bottom, looking around, you have the light from above you, but other than that, like, after about 10, 15 feet, it's hard to make out almost anything. It's already dim light, and it's very quickly going to be no light if you travel further. K-Tog kind of looks back at both of you and oh, that's right. And he pulls out his torch and lights his torch, making it a lot easier for you two to see. And now looking, you can see the hole stays about 19 to 20 foot in diameter. It seems more or less, not so much that someone my audio's fucking up here because I'm hearing shit. You guys there?
Yeah, we're here. You've just been kind of cutting back and forth a little bit.
Yeah, my audio's kind of fucking up for a second here. I think I fixed it, hopefully. But anyways, getting down to the hole, still about 19, 20 feet in diameter. It doesn't seem like it's a man-made hole, more like the sense of something burrowed through here. Something big burrowed through here. But continuing on, as you guys begin to walk, you hear behind you, not really too far behind you, two decently loud thuds. You look back and the giants are dusting themselves off. They seem feeling that your rope might break under their weight. They kind of slid down the side and tumbled a little bit. As you guys begin to walk further into the tunnel, you begin to see smaller holes that tange off. Now these smaller ones are probably maybe 3 foot diameter. Something much smaller either got down here relatively quickly, or these holes in particular were already there, and whatever the large creature was burrowed straight through them, not even noticing they were there. As you begin to continue, you can K-Tog, as you guys stop, I know you can't see it, but about 50 to 60 feet up there, the cave opens, and it looks like it's into a cavern of some sort. And he looks back at the giants. What was down here? And both of them kind of look at each other. Boone goes, no. Creature gone. before we came.
But you say the men live here now?
I I'm not I'm not knowing. Um, we didn't we no see battle. We come after.
I see.
Welcome back, Fallen Fox. How's it going? Oh,
Well, we might as well push on then.
okay. What's K-Tog? Okay. Alright, let me... God damn. Okay. Well, Jinri, you don't hear this because your passive perception is a little too low. But both K-Tog and Bane, hear off in the direction, roughly probably about the distance K-Tog said that it opens up into the cavern. You can hear some scampering across the cave floors and walls. Doesn't really sound like a small... Sounds like maybe a smaller, medium-sized creature. Maybe. Maybe a little bit bigger than a goblin. Not incredibly big. But there seems to be a lot of them. K-Tog just kind of stops. Did you hear that?
I think I did.
Hear what?
There's something in the cave up
We're
ahead.
not alone here.
Hmm.
Can you see it?
No, I didn't see it. I just heard the scampering across the floor. It sounded something small. Just just watch your back, I guess. And,
Right, will do.
K-Tog leading the way. He you guys approach and you start to see as the light hits it, the cavern open up roughly about twice the size of what it was, and now you're in more of a natural cavern that was already here. But now looking the torchlight is starting to reveal like broken crates, old rusted metal cages. You see one. There's a older keg that has some rusty spears in it. It's kind of this full circular layout. It has different like rock formations going up the walls. It kind of can look to act like staircases and whatnot. K-Tog kind of walks forward. He kind of raises the torch up to give it a better view, and you hear, and K-Tog is all of a sudden upside down, hanging about 10 feet in the air. And a quick glance, you can see his foot is caught in a snare, and he is hanging upside. He has dropped the torch. It is still burning on the ground, but he has dropped his sword also. So he has no means of cutting free. Both of the giants behind you look extremely scared and don't know what to do with themselves. And at the clattering of K-Tog's sword, you hear from both behind you and in front of you a lot of footsteps coming forward, and you can see on the rock formations that look like they go off into staircases and whatnot. You can now make out that there's also small holes in the wall, about 3 foot in diameter, and you can see torchlight getting brighter, and sounds coming from them too. K-Tog hanging upside. Can someone either cut me down or hand me that? And he's pointing to his sword.
I toss him up a sword.
He grabs it and he stands up and grabs the torch relatively quickly and gets ready. And now they are on you. First off, you feel the giants behind you kind of bump into you, and you look back and you can see about maybe 2.5, 3 foot tall, very skinny, small lizard-like creatures. There's probably about 10 behind you. You can see them now coming from the other side of the cavern. 10 more coming up from the other side, and then just a whole bunch of numerous different numbers coming from the walls above you. Too many to count coming from the smaller holes above you. And these are small kobolds that have been living in the mountain. And they have you all at spear point.
Fear point. Huh. How goes it, stranger? I call out to the kobold.
They all kind of, as you talk, they all kind of mutter amongst themselves. And one of them kind of speaks up, and he goes, what do you do here?
We seek friends.
You seek friends. Friends give food.
Well, here you go. Point to the giants. They also look for food.
We no look food. We want food.
What kind of food?
What food got? That food?
Well,
And he points at K-Tog. Those food? And he points at the giants.
do you eat giants?
Food. Meat is meat.
Who's in charge here?
That be me.
Well, what now, Bane? I whisper to him. Bane?
I'm thinking.
I'm thinking. I don't know how to talk to kobolds.
Let's see.
So, looking about, as you think of what to do, most of the kobolds don't seem to have anything on. The one that's piped up as the leader, you can see he has, what looks to be armor at first glance, and then upon closer inspection, you can tell, some of it's just like discarded cans that he's cut off for wrist plates and to go up on his forearm, his bicep. You can see one of the first things that you can notice is his helmet is more or less a pot that he has kind of cut and fastened with a leather strap. His shield is kind of more or less like a pan, but like kind of bigger, almost like a trash can lid type of thing. He doesn't have great armor. You can see he has one kobold next to him that it has on its shoulder. It has like a small cage. He has a whole bunch of different trinkets and baubles hanging from his belt. You can see he also has a bag. That one carries a staff that has a what looks to be a badger strapped to the end of it. And the badger is not happy.
Gotcha. Okay. So tell me, fearless kobold leader, what say you to a contest for food?
What mean? What contest?
Well, where we come from, if you want the strongest gets the food, but you must prove your strength and duel.
Who fight you?
Oh, not me. I want to know who's the strongest of the kobold, strongest of you and your army.
And he points at the one to the right of him that has the badger. Spurt! Spurt strong.
He must prove his strength. If you and your kind do battle with one another in duel, the winner gets the spoils.
Who spurt battle? He doesn't.
What?
He said, "Who spurt battle?" He doesn't seem to be understanding really what you're saying. Just that you want to fight somebody is what he's thinking right now.
Okay. He fight you.
Spurt don't fight me. Me leader. And he uses
Spurt stronger than you?
Spurt can't get through armor, and he uses his rusty spear and taps his pot on his head. Ting ting.
Well, if that is true, then you would have no problem defeating Spurt and taking the food for yourself, no?
Kobolds no fight each other. Kobolds fight you.
As he says that, I cast Crown of Madness on him.
Is that what type of casting is that?
It's a wisdom saving throw.
But like, is it
charm.
verbal?
It's verbal.
Okay, yeah, because there's someone's holding something in case something happens.
Holding something in case I use a verbal spell.
Not all of these kobolds are stupid. Okay, so you cast Crown of Madness, and that is a what save?
Wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. What do I got to beat?
13.
Natural 7 minus 4. So he fails.
Gotcha.
And as you cast that, you can see very quickly the darkness surround him. Of the dark shadows surround him and kind of swirl up to his head, and a very pointy thorned crown kind of like plops on his head. And at the same time, Spurt, who was standing next to him, takes his bag and chucks it at you. I needed you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I failed.
What was it? It's not it.
In that one.
Oh, okay.
It's
So
well,
yeah,
three.
you did fail.
It's a
Okay.
3.
So
Yeah.
So you quickly send off the spell, and you see that it takes effect. You're like, oh yeah, and then you see the blob coming towards you, and as it gets closer, relatively quickly, you hear, zzzz, and the bag hits you, and poof, a swarm of wasps just emerge, and you take. I rolled really good-ish here. 4, 6. You take 7 points of piercing damage, and 3 points.
Which I should be at.
Go ahead.
So it's 10 damage, but I should be at coming from full health, right? Since
Yes,
we
we
just
had a
got
long
done with the rest. Yeah.
Yeah. So you take 7 points of piercing and 3 points of poison.
Well, I have resistance to poison.
Okay, so you take half damage, so that'd be 1.5 round down. So you take 1 point of poison then.
Okay, and the other one was 7?
7 of piercing. And then what does Crown of Madness do? When humanoid of your choice, you can see with it.
Yeah. So, I get to choose what he does.
Okay, so what does he do? What do you make him do?
He's going to attack Spurt.
Oh, okay. So, as Spurt throws his bag at you, the King Kobold kind of like shakes his head for a second. You can see the crown like embedded into him. He looks to his right and takes a jab at Spurt. Spurt. Let's see. Does he hit? So he does hit Spurt. See how much damage he does. So Spurt takes 3 points of piercing. So you see him just immediately lunge out with the spear to his right, and it sinks into Spurt's side, and he grabs the wound and looks at his what he thought was his friend and his king. And you see Spurt get really serious really quick, and he takes the badger and just shoves it in the king's face. Oh, it's nat 20. Fuck.
What?
Beautiful.
Where did he get another badger? Didn't he throw that at me?
No, he threw a bag at you that he had on his hip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his bag of wasp. So that's
Oh, that's right.
4. That's 8. Yeah, the badger. Getting a better look at it, it is literally a spear that has a badger kind of duct taped to it almost, but with shackles. It's an interesting creation. So 4, 8, 6, 8, 10, 11. So the king will take 11 points of slashing damage, and then 5 points of piercing. And if he gets what type of saves does he need to make on that?
Who?
The king. Does he get any save on Crown of Madness?
Oh, he has to keep doing wisdom saving, or he can make a wisdom saving throw at the end of each of his turns.
Okay. So are you guys getting involved here, or are you just letting these two go at it?
Yeah, we're gonna let him go out for right now.
Okay. So
If anybody else jumps in, I'll get involved. But
okay, the rest of the kobolds immediately back up. Looking about, these are the only two creatures here that have any type of armor at all. The rest of them are pretty much naked. Oh, he posted Roll20 stuff on that. Okay, I'm like, what's that? All right. It's now back to the king's turn. So he is going to. He's going to try to use his shield bash on Spurt with 12, 14. That'll hit. So Spurt is going to take 2d6. Ooh, that's a lot. 6, 10. So Spurt's going to take 14 bludgeoning. Alright, and what's that save that the king has to make?
13.
13. He's going to roll really fucking high because it's a -4. 11 -4. God. This is gonna be the death of somebody here. Okay, so back to Spurt's turn. So let's see. So this time, Spurt is you see him kind of back up and look at the king for a second, and noticing that the king's not backing down now. He reaches into the cage, and kind of like in one brilliant motion, opens the cage mid-throw and chucks the open cage at the king. And now, getting a look at it, you see as it's flying and twirling through the air, inside the cage is a skunk that has some slight foam coming from the mouth. It looks really skinny, very malnourished. But he's gonna throw his cage of skunk at the king. 17. Okay, yep, that hits. And as the cage impacts, it busts open. It was mostly a wooden cage that he had on his shoulder. And the skunk kind of clings to the king himself, and immediately begins to bite into him and tear at him. He's going to take 9 points. Okay, so he'll take 9 points. Oh, God. Alrighty, so now back to the king's turn. At this point, the rest of the kobolds are like forming a like semicircle around the battle, and like the end points are kind of ending at your guys' two sides. And they all are like cheering and booing. You can like half of them are cheering for Spurt, one half's just cheering the entire time, or 1/3 is just cheering the entire time, and a very small amount are only cheering for the king. But going back to his turn, let's see, what does he want to do? He's got the skunk on him. So are you just making him focus on Spurt?
Yeah, it's a duel.
Okay, so he's gonna ignore the skunk then, and he is going to attempt to take another jab at Spurt with disadvantage now. Where's my other die at? Oh, there it is. Ooh, that is a nat 14 and a nat 3. So the king goes to lunge out towards Spurt again, and like just as he begins to lunge, you can see the skunk bites into his jaw, and he kind of winces, and the spear goes just off, and he misses. So that's the end of his turn there. So he's gonna try to make another wisdom save. God damn it! 16 minus 4, that's 12. I need a 13, don't I?
Yep.
Okay. Looking back at Spurt, he kind of stands there for a second, and he's hoping that his king will stop, and he goes, "Ha! Fuck this!" And he reaches into his back pocket. You see a small flash, and he throws a ball, and it lands. He doesn't hit the king with it. It just lands at the base. And I'd say at this point, you're probably 15 feet away. Let's see. Let's roll percentage and see if you guys are 15 feet away. High or low, Dan?
High.
High? Okay, you guys are within 15 feet. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
All right. 16.
17. Ken rolled a natural 2, so Ken failed. Okay. So both of you will take half this damage. Ooh, that was a really shit roll that time. 2, 5, 9, 10. So Kin, the other kobolds know what's that, and they're kind of a little bit wider. I'm not rolling like 30 dex saves right now. So very quickly you see this little bowl just land at the feet. You guys don't recognize it immediately. K-Tog recognizes it really quickly, and he recognizes it as something that Draken uses, and there is a loud explosion in the mine. So it would be 10 points of force damage. Those of you, you and Bane save, so you guys take 5 points. K-Tog's taking the full 10. Oh, I need to pull it up down here. Oh, long rest. Take long rest. God damn it. 18. Heal. 10 points. Force. Okay, just making sure he takes that. You guys kind of wince back from the explosion and trying to cover yourself from the very shocking flash. And as you look back, Spurt is standing there, and he's just looking very intense, and he has black soot covering his face. The king is now missing an arm and lying on the ground lifeless.
The king is?
The king is, yeah.
He just killed the king.
He started it. And all the other kobolds, over half of them are cheering. Many of them are excited. You see a few of them kind of have their heads down. You see a couple of bags get tossed back and forth. Some people made some bets in the background.
Oh my gosh.
But Spurt is now looking at you. Why?
Well, now that that's over,
Why?
will you treat us as your honored guests?
No! I know the way of the voodoo. You hurt man. And he points at towards the king's head, and you can see at this point, like, the crown quickly vanishes as the last of the life force drains from the king.
I don't see anything.
I walk up to take a look.
Taking a look at...
The king.
Oh.
That's next to the other guy, right?
Yeah. So he is extremely battered, and there's no sign of his right arm. Can't find the spear it was holding. All of his quote-unquote armor is completely trashed. Especially after the explosion. And he kind of, like, you kind of kick him to the side, just, like, start to roll him over to see if there's anything of value underneath him. And the rabid skunk is dead on his back. He just fell on top of it. He looks like a different version of what you had originally found. A less alive version. No crown. King
do
want
you think we should do,
food,
Jimmy?
and you make me kill king.
I don't know
Make
what
you
you
do
mean.
anything.
It's kind of looking...
You didn't have to kill your king.
I know voodoo. You make king attack me.
But did we make you attack him?
I defend myself.
Did we make you attack him?
I defended myself. There we go. I found the voice again. I'll make you a deal. You give us that one, and he points at the dumber giant. We let you pass.
cast Thunderous Smite on my hammer and then hit him.
Okay. Go ahead, roll an attack. $22. And then what does Thunderous Smite do?
It's a bonus action.
Thunderous Smite. The first time you hit with your melee weapon attack during the spell's duration, your weapon rings thunder that is audible within 300 feet,
Okay.
and the attack deals an extra 2d6 thunder damage to the target.
Okay, so that...
Also, if the target is a creature, it must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pushed 10 feet away and be knocked prone.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your 2d6. And he rolled a 10 for strength, so I'm imagining he fails.
Well, the 2d6 is extra damage
Correct.
on top of his regular attack.
Yeah, I get
8
that.
plus 6 total.
Okay, but that would be the full damage on that attack.
Correct, and then he gets pushed 10
Spurt's
feet away
gonna
and
uncanny dodge and half that. And he will still fail and get pushed back. But so he takes 8, 6, that'd be 4 and 3. So he's gonna take 7 points after just getting pummeled. He doesn't fall over. Well, he falls over from the thing, but you can see he's slowly starting to get back up. He's got a lot of blood coming out of him.
Can I run over and cast a spell?
Go ahead and make me a dexterity check, because now you're going to be in competition to all the other kobolds that surround you, and you have now just openly attacked one of them.
Okay, let's see. But you want a...
It's going to be a
Dexterity
it's going to
check?
be a dex check, and I'm just going to make one with advantage because I'm using an entire group.
Okay, well, this isn't gonna work for me.
What did you roll?
A 7. I was just gonna run over and touch him.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 6, so
Oh my gosh.
that was some shit
So I
rolls right
made
there.
it.
So yeah, you were able to get off just in time. I mean, you can see the kobolds moving around you, but you can get up and cast your spell.
Okay, it's inflict wounds. So I do 3d10 necrotic damage on him.
Isn't it technically a melee attack spell?
Yeah, I have to touch him.
Okay, so just make me, because he's prone, make me a spell attack with advantage. So roll 2d20, add your spell attack modifier, which is +5. $22. That'll definitely hit. Okay, go ahead and roll your damage.
$17.
17. So you reach down and grab Spurt, and you feel the energy pulse from you and go into him, and you blink for a second, and Spurt is gone, and you're just covered in blood. You just so now the pack is going to go, and each of you are going to take...
Well, I call out and say, hey, I was just trying to help. I just touched him and he exploded.
Make a persuasion check at disadvantage. Oh, there's my other die. $10.
10. Oh, that would have been a good one otherwise.
I rolled an 11. Gotta love it.
Oh, you darn it.
Okay.
If that wasn't disadvantage, I would have had it.
Yep. Alrighty. So they all kind of pause for a second, look at each other, and then so with the ones that are immediate in the area, Jinri, you are taking 6 different attacks right now. So that one will not hit. That one. What is your AC? It's like 20, isn't it?
Mine?
Yeah.
20.
20? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's not going to hit. That one will not hit. Ooh, one of these will hit. Okay. So very quickly, as you go out and you turn back and try to yell at them and convince them, several of them just let spears loose at you. You throw your shield up and you feel several different spears, and one just gets just low enough and jabs into your leg. You're gonna take. Oh, that was a shit roll. 3 plus 3, 6 piercing damage on that.
Okay.
So at the same
He's
time,
resistant to pierce.
are you?
No, I don't think that's a thing.
Oh, okay. I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
So
we tried to pierce his ears once, it didn't go through.
shut up. K-Tog is going to be the focus of 5 attacks.
I'll be right back.
Okay, what's K-Tog's AC? 18. Okay, so that'll hit. That will not. So that's 1 hit. 2 more. Both of those miss. So he's going to take a spear to the shoulder, which is going to be 4 plus 1 plus additional 3. That's 8. So he is going to take 8 points of piercing. Okay, the giants behind you, Boone and Ghoul, that was their names, right? Boone and Ghoul, I think. I don't have it in front of me right now. Sounds about right. It was close.
They were called giants, so.
Yeah. Boone is going to, being the largest of the group, he is going to take 8 attacks. Oh god, that hits, that hits. Okay, there's 3 gone. Ooh, that's a nat 20. Alright, and 2 more. That's another nat 20. And that one misses, so that's 2 regular hits, 2 nats. And a lot of misses. So that's going to be, we'll roll these guys first. So it's going to be 1, 3, 4, plus another 3, 7, doubled, that's 14. 4, 1, 14, 5, 10, plus 3, 13. So 14 and 13, and then 2 more hits regularly. It's going to be a... I need to write this down. Where's my notebook? There we go. Boone and Goon, their health. Okay. Okay. So Boone's gonna take 14 minus 13 minus 4, 7 plus another 3 minus 10. And then one last hit. 5 minus 8. Oh fuck, that's a lot of damage in one round. 1, 2, 3. 8, 1. Boone's looking, he took a bad punch there. Ghoul is going to take, let's see, so Shinri took 6, K-Tog took 5, Boone took 8, Ghoul is only going to take 4. Miss, miss, and miss. One more. That one will hit. 3, 6, 9. Okay. Alright, so, and then now we're down to you, Bane. You are going to take... there's only 2 people left that have throwables, so you're only taking 2 attacks. And one was a natural 2, which misses. The other was a nat 15 plus 2, 17. That still misses you, I believe, right?
Correct.
Or 17. Yeah, it still misses. Equipment. Do you not have your shield equipped?
Not at the moment, no.
Oh, okay. That's right. You unequipped it whenever you went to fight the stone dudes.
Yeah, I unequipped it so I could use my hammer two-handed.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Alrighty, so we just finished. Boone took 1, 2, 3, 4 spears. Goon took 1 spear. Everyone missed Bane. And K-Tog took a couple spears. But now we're back to you guys. You're surrounded by kobolds. The ones that threw the spears from the back, and there's still others that haven't attacked yet, but they are beginning to approach. What are you gonna do, guys?
Also, I need to say this because we forgot again, but Luce and I give everybody around us bonuses to their saving throws, so I just keep forgetting.
Oh, okay.
So everybody keep that in mind. For K-Tog, it'd be a +5. For me, it's +3 added on to whatever I have.
Okay.
And for Lewis, it's +2
Well,
added on to whatever he has.
the only saving throws that were fails were like major fails, so it wouldn't have mattered so far.
Right. Yeah, you're right. And I forgot about it, so
Yeah.
it is what it is. But I just want to make note of it because I was scrolling down and I just saw it. Anyway, let's see. So no one's attacked any of the regular kobolds yet?
No, it just got back to you guys' turn. You and Bane took an action. The kobolds went, and now it's back to your party's turn. K-Tog will go this round. He was not expecting to fight. But now he's ready.
I don't know. K-Tog's always ready for a fight.
He was ready, but I rolled a dex check for him, and he rolled a nat 1, so he sat out round 1.
Gotcha. How many kobold are there?
There's about 20 behind you, probably another 20 in front of you, and at least 15 above you. There's a lot.
Gotcha. Gosh, I don't have any AoE attack.
This guy doesn't.
Yeah, I guess I'll go attack the one. Or, well, actually, can I try to persuade them again? That,
What are you gonna say to persuade them?
that he just exploded on his own and I was trying to help him?
They kind of just ignored that. I mean...
How about I persuade them that, I'm now their leader? Since I'm now the strongest, since their 2 leaders are dead.
I mean, technically that's how their hierarchy should work, right?
Yeah.
So first, go ahead and make me a history check.
Okay.
Or no, a knowledge check. A general knowledge check, not history, sorry. Just intelligence. Sorry.
Intelligence.
Yeah, I keep saying knowledge. Intelligence is the same thing.
Hold on.
just type number 3.
There.
18. Okay, so with that intelligence, you'll know most kobolds choose their leader by who has the shiniest of stuff. And even though you're robots, you're in the middle of a cave where it's
I
like
can show.
pitch black.
I can show them. Oh, so wait. So they.
I didn't hear what you said.
So if they could see me, then you're saying that they would see that I'm shiny.
I don't know. Maybe.
I can. I also have an adamantine breastplate that I can glitter at them. Say, look what I have. I am the true leader.
Does it just glitter by itself?
Well, I'd have to shine light on it, but K-Tog had a torch, didn't he?
He has a torch, but it's like not really that strong right now because he dropped it and picked it back up. He's like kind of sitting back there trying to keep it from going out. It's not putting off a lot of light. Oh.
Trying to see. I don't know that I have anything. I mean, I could try to sit there and start a fire, but I don't think that.
Light that dead king on fire.
Burn the body for light.
I mean, that'd be a decent.
Wait, do we have any oil flasks?
Equipment, mess kit, rations, rope. K-Tog does not.
No, I do. I do have an oil flask.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got an oil flask.
So can I throw it? Can I spill it out in a line and then light it up? Like I'll put it down in a line in front of me, light it up, and then I'll hold up my shining armor and say, "I am your leader."
Okay. All right. Yeah, you can do that. Let's see if the dice are in your favor. Why do I keep using the black dice? I can't see them in the dark. 282.
Maybe turn the light on.
But then the fan turns on and that fucks up my audio and it's a lot of work. And I don't want to turn the fan off because that's a lot of work and I'm short. So you quickly grab your oil, splash it around in a circle, and throw down, snatch the torch out of K-Tog's hand and throw it to the ground. The fire flies up, and your adamantine breastplate begins to shimmer in the light of the oil, and you see all of the kobolds together. Their eyes get really big, and a whole bunch of spears, what you didn't notice before, bows, other materials. You can hear a whole bunch of weapons clatter to the ground, and all of them at the same time drop to their knees and bow to you.
I am your leader.
They kind of look very fearful and very mesmerized by the display you have just put on.
Perfect. Well, this gets us out of battle.
So a few minutes goes by and the fire begins to dwindle down slowly. You can see some of the ones that kind of aren't paying attention to the actual conversation in the background. They've went over to both the king and Spurt's body, and they're starting to like cut pieces off of it and stuff it in their makeshift pouches or whatever they have.
Spurt doesn't have a body.
Well, they're picking up pieces.
They're scooping up the blood.
They're not really. They're not focused on the blood. More like trying to find chunks of meat. Oh, but Um, the main group that was immediately coming in to rush for the attack kind of just stand there staring at you, Jinri. Just waiting.
Take me to my headquarters.
They just kind of look at you. They might not have known what you said.
What do they not speak common? That'd be fantastic.
They probably speak common, but they probably don't know a lot of big words.
Take me to the king's chambers. King's room.
And you see,
You are the king, so it'd be your room.
so you see several of them kind of like perk up and oh, that's what he wanted. And they don't say that, but that's the look that they give. And two of them rush up to you and grab you by both hands and start like ushering you one way. And you have like a small, very clumsy guard in front of you of 4 spearmen. And as the party, does the rest of the party follow?
Sure.
We'll let the giants stay there for a moment.
Okay, so the giants, you looking back, telling them to halt. The kobolds immediately block off the path to the giants. King, wait here! And they're looking at the giants, talking to them. So K-Tog catches up and it's not feeling comfortable with how things quickly turned this way. So you guys are led down a relatively small hallway. It's not like what you were seeing them go into. This was a chute off to the right. For the kobolds, this is a humongous hall. For you guys, you're kind of crouched. But they lead you to this chamber, and inside, it's probably about 10 foot, maybe 11, 12 foot in width, and about 20 foot in depth. So it's pretty long chamber. At the very far end, you can see a makeshift throne out of stone. You might be able to fit into it, but surrounding it is a very surprising amount of gold, silver, different knickknacks, some fine jewelry. You can see even like some finer metal dishes, like you can see like what looks to be a very heavily polished iron pot. There's some expensive stuff sitting around this throne right now. They're thinking that might be what the king had before you.
Nice.
So they lead you into the chamber, and the 4 guards that are in front of you, they all step to the side, and kind of like they don't really stand at attention. They kind of just like stand there and snap at each other, and you can hear them talking, but they're speaking Draconic, so I don't think you speak that, so you can't understand them.
No.
But they seem to be letting you pass to go to your throne now.
Nice. I'm gonna go sit on my throne.
It's really small. Like, how big are you?
I mean, I'll be sitting on the, armrests and everything, but it's fine.
You're sitting on the armrests. The back support probably goes about halfway up your back, maybe. But you turn around, and what you didn't notice on the walk in is as you turn around to sit down, you have the main tunnel in front of you, and then like on the left and the right side there are several offshoots of small tunnels, once again about 3 foot in diameter, that kind of line around the door, and you can see they all have faint light coming from the back of them. You can hear some skittering back and forth. You imagine it's probably just different ways to bring offerings to the king, different paths the kobolds take, all that fun stuff. But you sit out and stare amongst your extremely small kingdom.
My loyal subjects and all my treasures. I sit here in triumph, cherishing the moment.
Okay.
So it is 9 now. Are we going for a full session, or are we gonna cut it here? We're gonna do a shorter one.
We can wrap up. If you guys have any last minute things you want to do while here, we can take care of that.
I don't know. That's up to you, Lewis, if you want to wrap up or not.
Okay, well, I'm going to lose this. So, are you going to count the treasure to take it with you whenever you go to leave?
Yeah.
Okay, so get your pen out, because I will probably lose this piece of paper. That's the only other thing that I would like to go over, because I imagine you're gonna.
Okay.
I imagined you were gonna take everything.
All right. So what are my treasures?
1,232 pieces of gold.
Wait,
This
1,232
this was a
gold.
This was a lot. This was a big pile. Like, you're in a decent sized room.
I am a king now.
And I mean, gold's like the size. It's not like huge pieces. It's like the size of a quarter. But you find there's no copper in here. First off, they don't have any copper. But you do find 762 pieces of silver. And I'd say probably a good 200 gold's worth of finer china, is for lack of a better term, like the different pottery that they, metal pottery that they found.
How much gold worth?
Probably about, I'd say, 300 pieces of gold worth. And you find a couple of good iron swords, so of good value, not decent, but good. These kobolds have been here for a while. They've been terrorizing a lot of people. And that was supposed to go extremely different.
I am their leader. I'm the C-3PO and they're the Ewok.
Oh, I mean, that was a shorter session, but that was still a fun session. So now to make this more interesting, you have an army of kobolds now. Like,
I know, we can march on the city or anything.
I mean, they're still kobolds. They're not strong, but like, if you have to take down a
We
group,
could take out any travelers.
yeah, travelers, that'd be no issue.
Nanny Poo Poo's vision can be taken care of before we get down to the next spot.
Okay, so if you, and we'll say you guys spend, another 2 to 3 hours, getting to know the different creatures and how many kobolds you have technically under your command, and you also now have a source of income, because there is a small group of them that go out, they steal stuff, bring it back. So whenever you come back and visit here, there'll be a small cache waiting for you.
So can we convince the miniature giants to stay with them and be part of the group, and they can help get food?
Protect them.
I'd say yeah, you'd have a decent amount of time here. You could probably just spend the rest of this day, because even by this time it's probably only 2 p.m., so you still have half a day left. So you could probably spend the rest of the day and take night's rest here, which would catch you up in time with the other group. But so you're able to convince the giants to essentially be your de facto leaders while if you decide to depart for a short period of time. But
And we're gonna take some of that gold, and we'll have food brought once in a while.
okay. But if you choose to, you have, because there was about 70 creatures just in that cavern you were fighting alone. You probably have. You can write this down. You'd have to call on them and find some way to call on them. You have 117 kobold warriors at your disposal.
Awesome.
So, don't know how you want to use them, but
Yeah, no.
Return of the King.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just go over to that misty mountain over there and
keeping in
snuff out smog.
I was gonna say, keeping in mind that the most armored one of them died after roughly 30 points worth of damage. Keeping that in mind.
Well, not to mention, now we have enough gold to buy them all armor.
Right, and weapons. I can form them into a much greater army than they are now.
That'll take time.
Hey, I mean, I got time.
Okay. God. This. Oh God.
Now I am King Jinri.
Holy fuck.
And General Bane.
That's. That is something else.
I mean, if push came to shove and Ken stopped showing up, we could always just, have him destroyed as food for these people.
You've literally changed your name to King Jinri.
Yeah,
Oh God.
I'm
that's
King
awesome.
Jinri now.
Okay. All right. You guys stick around for a second. After I close out, I want to run something by you guys. But as for everybody in the stream, thank you all for stopping in. This was interesting. We will immediately fuck him. You're a douchebag.
Why did you do that?
But thank you all for stopping in. We will be back next week, hopefully with the full cast. We'll see you then. Bye.